Welcome to episode 7 of Boba Talk, a podcast where we talk about all things tech, programming, and everything in between. So my name is Ellie. I'm a curriculum developer for Codedex, and I'm here with one of my good friends, Jamie Rollison. She's a former Stripe intern and current senior at the University of Illinois. So hi, Jamie. She's here to talk to us today about her internship kind of process, also how she got them, the process of everything, and then, just kind of her experiences of being a student at Illinois. So, Jamie, first of all, feel free to introduce yourself, tell us what you're studying, what you're doing, where you're at right now, and what boba you're drinking.
Yeah, hello, everyone. My name is Jamie. I'm a senior at the University of Illinois, and my boba, I have a lavender lemonade with yuzu and normal tapioca pearl. That's what we're doing.
And then I got mango passion peach. I feel like I just really like all things mango, so.
And I like all things lavender, so
Okay, awesome. So Jamie and I, for some background, we met at this club at school. So we both went to Illinois, and we both went to this club called Hack for Impact. We met there, and Jamie, do you want to talk about a little bit about what that was and kind of what you were doing?
Yes, I can say a lot of things about Hack for Impact. So Hack for Impact is I believe we are a nonprofit organization, and we also make software for nonprofit organizations. So usually for us, that involves making a lot of web apps, but it can be different.
Yeah.
I remember the first one that I did was mobile, which we'll get into that. That was very influential in my career.
Yes, we'll see.
But so you work on a team with some developers. We have designers. We have a tech lead. We have a
product manager.
I almost forgot the word. I did forget. And so it's really fun. It's a really cool experience. I'm sure we'll get into it more, but a huge amount of experience from that, more than you would get from like your class.
Right.
In my opinion.
So Jamie and I met working on the same project, and as we were talking about, we worked on a mobile app for like a language learning sort of. The idea was like language learning, like Duolingo for
languages that were endangered due to any number of reasons. Typically,
so that's kind of what Hack for Impact brought to us, and Jamie also for her internships and stuff. So you mentioned a little bit about how it was very influential in what you were doing. So kind of tell us about how Hack for Impact, or like the club that you joined, like first of all, was that something that did you want to go into like joining a club, or because you joined your second year of school?
Yes, I joined my second year of school. So my freshman year, I honestly didn't do that much. I was just trying to get my bearings, make sure I was doing well in like school and stuff. And so I branched out a lot more my sophomore year. And so my second year of school, I remember I went to a class with my friend, and then he said, I'm going to go to the info night for Hack for Impact. And I just joined them, and they did their presentation. And I thought that was all neat stuff. Like specifically the project that we were on it was their second semester of that project. And I remember they were introducing that project. I was like, this is really cool. I have a linguistics minor. So the preservation of endangered languages was very, very interesting to me. And so I applied there, and I got in, and then that was kind of my whole life for that semester, at least. Like,
this was fall of 2022.
This was fall of 20. Yep. Oh wow. That's a long time ago. The fall of 2022. But I met Ellie from Codedex, and I met many other very cool people that I still talk to, that are all doing great in their own lives. And something about that, again, is when you're in that sort of like culture of we make stuff for computer science, it gets you into like a networking position. It's like the people that I know there are now at Stripe, and the people I know there are at...
We had some people from Google.
I know people that are at...
a lot of like trading.
Yes, trading companies, MongoDB, all over the place. So if you can get like a club like that, that's very into like industry things, and then the people that are there will go on to do cool things, and you have network connections all over the industry.
Right. So getting to experience like coding for something that was going to be used was, something very big.
Yes. Also very motivating to do like nonprofit work. I really like the impact there. Hack for Impact. It's called that for a reason.
So, right. And so you said how do you feel like this environment also helped you like with your first internship, right? And also, can you talk a little bit about can you talk a little bit about how you got your first internship too? Because that's a very fun story.
Setup. Yes. So I got my first internship because when I went to my first day at college, I sat down at dinner, and then my friend Jonathan, who I didn't know, sat next to me and was like, "Can I sit here?" And I said, "Sure." And as it turns out, his mom, as it turns out, his mom works at Intuit, which is a company. And so later in the future, for my sophomore year, we were roommates, and so I was like, can you give me a referral from your mom?" And I did, in fact, get a referral from his mom, and that's how I got my first internship. So I worked at Intuit, and I really knew nothing about the industry. I really knew nothing about. I mean, I had coded before. We can get into that if you want, but I had some programming experience. I had a year of school. I had my data structures down, and I was integrating myself into Hack for Impact. So I was about to get a lot of experience, but I didn't really have that much experience. And they did like project matching. And after I got in, they said, "What team do you want to be on?" I said, "Oh, I don't know." Like the last thing that I did was a React Native project for 7,000 languages at Hack for Impact. And so I said, "I can do mobile." And they're like iOS or Android. And we have our CS 124 is the introduction class at the University of Illinois. And it's taught by a professor that just particularly likes Kotlin. He had us do Android development as the final project. And so I have barely any, like I've opened Android Studio before and I've done like the bare minimum to ruin that project. And I said, I have mobile experience and I have some Android experience. And then they put me on Android and now I do Android.
Yes.
Now I do Android for my second internship. Might do Android as a job. Who's to say? So that's crazy. So like you make a lot of random decisions. I was like, I kind of like linguistics, so now I'm on this project. And now that's sprung me into a career in mobile development. And that's not immediate from when you go to Info Night.
Yeah. It was like this background that you felt like you were comfortable in and was like, okay, yeah, they gave you that option. And that's a lot. So then your second internship was Stripe.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about how your internship a little bit at Intuit went, and also so Intuit, FinTech, Stripe.
Yes.
Kind of talk a little bit about that there too.
About FinTech?
About FinTech, and also just kind of these are your two internships in college, right? So
yeah, I mean, you definitely go into things that you're like comfortable with. So I was into it for a little bit in Mountain View, California, and my learning
Stripe in Seattle.
Stripe was in Seattle, yes. So my learnings from Intuit was that I really like programming. I really like working on a problem, getting a problem, working on the best solution for it. That's just very interesting to me. I could do that in mobile, and I like doing that in mobile because I like the not immediate feedback because Android Studio is slow, but the feedback of, especially with UI, you just like you do your little thing, you make a change, and then it shows up on the phone. And like I had a physical at Intuit, I didn't have a physical phone, but I was using the emulator that's built in the Android Studio, and it works fine. But at Stripe, I did in fact have too many Android devices. I walked around with like 2 phones and an iPad, or not an iPad because that's not an Android device, 2 phones and a tablet all the time. And it made me a little bit more interesting because nobody else had that because I was on the mobile dev team. But my learnings from Intuit,
yes,
I like having, it's fun for me to work on a project. It's fun for me to code. I like what I do. I don't like the Bay Area.
The Bay Area.
And so no hate if you like the Bay Area.
No hate to the Bay Area.
It's not my vibe. I don't have a car, so it's hard to get around. I don't like driving.
Yeah, okay, wait, yeah. Jamie, you're from Midwest, right? From Midwest, in a Midwest school.
Yes, I'm from Missouri. I was born in Iowa, and then I moved to Missouri, and then I go to school in Illinois. So
you don't come from like a tech hub, right?
I don't come from a tech hub. I don't come from a large city. I don't come from anywhere important.
But yeah, so you feel like the connections that you made at UIUC were important for, right?
The connections that I made in college were huge because I don't have industry connections in my real life. No, college is my life.
Except the
from my childhood at least.
Yeah. Except the one guy you just happened to sit
Except
next
the
to.
one guy I happened to sit next to the first day I was there. Isn't that crazy, guys? Anyway.
So we were on your learnings about Intuit, and then also I think you were kind of stepping into your learnings a little bit on the Stripe team.
Yes, on the Stripe team. Again, no hate to Intuit or California or anything like that. I really enjoyed Stripe's like company culture a lot more. I work there. I will work there in the future. I have a
Yes.
contract.
So
I've signed it.
Jamie signed an offer full time.
Oh yeah, I'm new grad at
Yeah.
Stripe in New York City, a place that I've been twice. And we were talking about Stripe.
Yes.
The Stripe is very cool. I really like the people that I worked with. I really liked the team that I was on. So definitely that really solidified. That's the word I was looking for. I like doing mobile. I think it's very fun. And then, but I also feel like I talked to more. Maybe it's just because of what I ended up doing. Like we happened to have free food around my team at Intuit, so I didn't really interact all that much in like cafeteria where you would have talked to like a lot of other interns. But I talked to interns a lot more at Stripe, so I got to know a little bit more about what other people were doing around. So whereas Intuit, I was a little bit siloed into my team, which was good and fine. But when I talk to interns, I know a little bit more about what's going on in different parts of the place and what exactly they're working on. More about like tech stacks and things that are going on more wider. So I feel like I had a more broad understanding of what was going on. And I don't really and by no means have I mastered what Stripe is doing. They do a lot of things, but I know more about what I'm doing in the context of what I'm doing. And I know that I like what I'm doing in the context of what's going on.
And that makes total sense. So you talked a little bit about how you got your Intuit offer. So for Stripe, also, was that that wasn't a direct funnel? How would you describe the recruitment process? Because you described your Intuit experience as something that you could go back to, but not fully. You were exploring other options. Talk about your recruitment season. So that was just
would have been summer 23. Summer 23 internship, and then I would have started recruiting. I got started recruiting way early. I got started recruiting in May 23 for 24 jobs, which was silly.
Yeah. So talk about how you said your recruitment season started early then. Talk about maybe some places that you interviewed and what your interview experience was like. So you had just gone out of a internship at Intuit, which is pretty big company.
Yes, very big.
Yeah. And what was were you interested in a smaller company? Were you interested in a bigger company? Talk about maybe your thought process there too when thinking about applying and places you wanted to work at.
Yeah. So I don't know if I was on an up from the Intuit or because I didn't actually have worked there at the time. We're setting the scene of May 23 and my job didn't start until later in May 23. So for some reason, that summer, I was reached out to by Google Recruiting. Can I name drop all these? Palantir Recruiting. I was at Intuit right now and I was doing well, so I could count on that as something that was a potential avenue.
So wait, you haven't even started?
No, I haven't even started my first internship, and I'm getting cold emailed because I'm the best. Anyway, I would get stuff from recruiters and I just take those. I try and take those opportunities. It helps to have a hybrid job at Intuit because I would sit in my apartment and I would on occasion around lunchtime do interviews and stuff with other places for the next recruiting season, which I don't think that it's good or healthy to have the recruiting season for summer 24 be in May and June of 23, but that's okay. But my main goal for that one was I want to see how it feels to live in New York.
Yes. So your main priority was location.
My main priority was location. And you'll notice if you've been listening that I had my second internship in Seattle. So it doesn't bode well for the story, but I do love Seattle actually. So it turned out, it all went well in the end. But yeah, Google, Palantir, a third thing. I remember sitting in the airport.
IBM.
No. I don't think I applied there. I don't remember. I applied to some trading companies. Just stuff. Just you cast a wide net. That's how it is sometimes. And then in 2022, in fall 2022, nonlinear storytelling, fall 2022, I had applied to Stripe, and they had some issues in their fiscal year of 2022.
Yeah,
They had
the
layoffs. They had some significant layoffs, and one of the people affected was my recruiter. So they were like, "We regret to inform you." I just did
it was the recruiter got
my
laid
recruiter
off.
got laid off, and I did not get moved to a new recruiter. So Intuit, it was a good experience. So no hate on Intuit. But I applied in August. I was coming back to school after living in California doing Intuit internship, and I applied to Stripe, and they're like, I got an email just like, "Oh, basically, we remember you from the last thing. You can skip the OA, and you can skip the." I don't think maybe I skipped a behavioral round or something, but
Yeah.
I went straight to interviews with people, which was nice.
So before, when you did an OA for Stripe, and then we're going to get moved to interviews,
Yes.
right? And so what the OA is like, can you talk about like what OAs are?
Oh, sure. Yes, an OA stands for online assessment. It's when they give you I want to say elite code-esque problem. Stripes are a little bit different. They're very much more based on like data manipulation, stuff like that. I feel like they're a different skill than elite code. But anyway, depending on the company, you'll get something that's like algorithmic or something like that. And you get an hour and you do them, and that's a pre-screen for whether they interview you or not. Because they'll give you.
And so do you feel like all the companies that you were applying to, that was typically the first round, right? Like an OA or like the initial. Like, right,
yeah, if they like they do a resume screening beforehand. And I could not tell you what the path is there, but if you get past the resume thing, then they'll give you an OA, and then you pass the OA, and typically it goes into interviews. And then every place is different. Stripe has a lot of them. Hack for Impact has a lot of them.
Hack for Impact did have a lot of them, yes.
But yeah, Google had like 2 or 3. I think I had to go back to the Google one. Anyway, I ended up at Stripe. I picked my Stripe one from my many, many opportunities, because I was at a point in September or October where Stripe gave me an offer in Seattle, and I was like, I want to be in New York. And I emailed Google. The Google process is a little bit slow, and they don't team match until October. So no.
You would have to they gave you certain, like a time limit, and you would have to choose between a potential team, right?
Yep. And there was still, if they don't if you don't fit with Google's thingy, they'll say like you're not guaranteed to get a thing in like for the team match process. So given that uncertainty in asking Intuit for a position in New York, or asking Google for a position in New York, or definitely taking a job in Seattle, I just took the Seattle one. And it was the correct decision because it was really good. A very good experience.
So with this comes like, your friends are also applying to internships, and everyone around you, and especially talk a little bit about how Illinois was like in terms of all the internship stuff, culture, and the pressure. Like you are getting, these like offers, you feel set. Kind of what was the culture around kind of what you thought? And especially like we were in this computer science club also at the time, with also a bunch of people who, again, like as we've talked about, have gone to a lot of great companies, big companies. What can you talk about there too? I'm very curious.
Illinois is competitive and kind of scary. A lot of people there are people that are like me and you that are in the clubs, and they're doing stuff, and that looks very good. But there are a lot of people that are just on the grind. Like you won't see them. You'll see them in the library, but they're like, I couldn't tell you a specific example because they don't have a lot of friends. I don't really interact with them. They're not super social. They just are like, they do their homework, they buckle down, they get their degree, and they find a job, which is a way to do college, but I prefer to socialize. And I think you have to consider a life outside of CS because, do you have hobbies? Are you an interesting person? I don't know. But the point is, it's very, very competitive. And you'll probably get a job if you go there because of the connections of, you can sit down at lunch and you
have an internship.
Guy across from you has an internship opportunity for you. But also, if you don't try pretty hard, it's going to be, there's a lot of people at the University of Illinois that can and will take your place because it's a competitive school. Yeah, for me, I did well. I never lose. It's a very nice thing to have, to be like, oh, I've done my Hack for Impact stuff, and now I'm like...
Yeah, like your passion project, right?
Yes.
That's essentially what it was, right? It was,
exactly.
you went there, the project looked cool, and you decided to do that. And yeah, I'm wondering also like what advice you can give, right? You're kind of even touching on a little, is like pursuing something that you like.
Yes.
That really got you like to where you are now, your offer in New York. And yeah, what advice can you kind of touch on for...
Yeah, if you really like CS, do something else. Like, I did like we said, my first project was, I really liked linguistics, and I saw a linguistics themed project.
Right, and that's not even CS, right? It was like something completely separate.
And so at the time, did I care about mobile development? Did I care about web app? Like, somewhat. I was interested. I've been coding for a while, but I didn't typically care about that until I saw the project that was aligned with my interests. So at the same time, like, if you just go in to get a job that is CS because you want a good paycheck or you want something like that, you're going to get into a position that's not interesting, and you're going to burn out and you're going to hate your life, because you need to find something that's like you're passionate about.
Yeah, it's like think about the long term of what you're doing now. And
yes, so for me, that was the linguistics project, the 7,000 languages project, and then that turned into an internship where I just really liked mobile and I really liked UI. So that's like a fun like little puzzle for me. So would I say that I'm so invested in fintech? Like, not particularly, but now I've learned to love the stuff that I do, and that's very big, because it's a competitive industry, and if you aren't passionate about what you're doing, you're going to burn out, and that's going to be bad for you.
Yeah, I feel like we see that a lot too. Even at Illinois, it's like people got so burnt out because even like studying computer science,
people are stressed.
It was so stressful.
People find it
cheating
super
culture.
Difficult. Oh yes,
cheating culture was huge. What can you say about cheating culture?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was not a computer. So Jamie and I were at the same club. I was not computer science, and so I was definitely like adjacent, but I was not in the major. I was not taking the same classes as them, and it was a very, very different experience for me in terms of, well, like assignments or homework or what was expected of me was just completely different, a different bar, right? So I always felt like I never really could compare myself to any of you guys, because it was like we're doing different things. But you were right next to like everybody else in the computer science programs at Illinois, very big.
Yes,
a lot of people. What was like cheating culture like?
If you go find a CS class at the University of Illinois and you Google CS, I don't know, pick a random number.
Code.
Yeah, CS class code, CS 411 GitHub, and you'll find all of the assignments. And so if you tell somebody about a class, they'll be like, oh, does it have a GitHub? Like, I know how much you pay in tuition, because I have to pay, my dad has to pay the tuition. And so, like, go to school, go to class. If you do that, you're not going to learn. And if you do that, I'm going to take your job, because I did learn the content. Yeah, but that's like, it's so huge to be like, oh, there's also a culture around, I'm here at this 4-year institution. I have to get out of here in 3 years, or like 2.5, or like I need to.
Yes, we saw so many
compress
people.
my already quite difficult degree into a 75% of the time or less, so I can do a master's degree in a year as well. They offer like a 4+1 program that people will finish the 4 part in 3 years and then move to the master's part. Which, like, it's fine if you can do that.
Yeah.
There are people who are smart and they head down and they do that. And there are people that are, not everybody needs to do that. Your path to success doesn't require you to do everything as fast as possible. And maybe you're going to kill yourself and burn out if you just put yourself under extreme stress for 3 entire years. Like, don't do that. And so along with that, they're like, oh, I need to get out of here in 3 years because it is expensive, but because it's expensive, I need to keep up with everybody. Like, I kind of wanted to graduate in 3 years because a lot of my friends were graduating in 3 years, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have a senior year where everybody is gone. And now I'm in my senior year here. I'm graduating 1 semester early. And my semester is very light, and it's very good. And it's like, oh, maybe I should have had a light semester way earlier.
Time.
Maybe I should have relaxed for a minute, because now it's like, I can do things.
Is that something you wish you did differently? So yeah, that's also like, I'm really curious, because clearly like what you did worked, and you've been very successful in trying out different things that you like and you're passionate about. what do you think you would do differently? And, for also like everyone listening, what is something that, with this experience behind you can kind of offer some words of wisdom, if you will, to someone right now who's in your position, looking at this, wanting to get an internship for the first time and trying to see what's working for them.
Right. I always do everything right and I never lose. I stand by that. And that's not actually true, but whenever I make a mistake, it's always like a learning experience. So when I was a freshman, I thought a lot of classes were easy and I was doing like 18 credit hours and then another like semester of like 16 credit hours. And so like my first 2 years, I was able to like chug through a lot of this content. And then in fall.
But also that's not to say you weren't.
Oh yeah. I was like very much grinding. Like I was not ever doing, there are people having fun in college and my fun in college was to sit in my friend's dorm room and like study and listen to music, or like there are people in frats and I was not one of those people. I was off in the engineering area at the library until late. And it's not that I was having a very different type of fun that looking back on it, it's like, oh, it sort of just blends together. Whereas if I would have went to like, oh, I can take a weekend off and go somewhere. I go to Chicago for a minute, or I can go like, I didn't have that. I was like on campus, locked in at all times. And even then I was able to accomplish it until I tried to do that with like 300 and 400 level courses in the fall of 2023. Yes. And I also decided to be tech lead at Hack for Impact. And so
just a lot of things at once.
Yes. I would just keep piling stuff on you because you think you can do it all. And I could not. And I very much struggled with it. And it was a very, very stressful experience. And I honestly, like, I wouldn't say that I would not do it. Like, looking back on it, I was like, oh, that was a mistake. But if I was going to not do it again, I think I needed to be humbled in a sense. Like, I needed to find the wall of the amount of stuff that I could accomplish, the amount of stuff that I could reasonably put on myself. And then sometimes you have to find that sort of limit by hitting it and then having to back off. And I think that's like, okay. So yeah, I guess my advice would be your limit is somewhere. And if you don't need to find that by looking at what your friends are doing or looking at like
100%.
What your peers are doing. Like if you are at your limit, you'll notice, you'll feel stressed, you'll be tired all the time.
Way too many Celsius.
You'll slip. Yes. Energy drinks. And that's when you need to back off and you don't need to be like, oh, but my friend is doing this, or oh, but I need to graduate sooner, or so yeah. And if you feel like it's easy, then you can add more stuff. And if you don't feel like it's easy, then don't add more stuff. And don't let any other person decide that. That's going to be how you feel about your stuff. And it doesn't apply to college. It doesn't apply just to college. It applies to anything that you're
in general. Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much, Jamie. This was really fun getting to hear about your experience with internships and also providing some advice also to people about how toxic sometimes computer science culture can be.
Computer scientists are bad people.
And you are one of them. Welcome to Boba Talk. Yeah, no, well, thank you so much. I feel like this was very real. It was something that I think we haven't touched on a little bit. We have had some other people kind of come on and also give the whole like, there was someone from our previous episode who talked also about their universities. Also, their university's not like a very target university, that talked about how not going to class and then doing personal projects, right? That was also passionate, right? So it's like,
that was MLH, right? Or am I thinking of a different episode?
No, this is someone else. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of different takes about how you should approach computer science and everything. But thank you so much for kind of giving us your take on it. And I'm sure this will also be very helpful and a little bit of a reflection piece too for computer science students who are in freshman year, sophomore year, because I know that to an extent I was also a part of that with kind of the internship culture and trying to see getting your internship, comparing yourself to other people in your major, etc.
Well, you also had your jobs. You also had your MLH stuff.
Yes, yeah. I feel like I was I was doing my job, and I felt kind of very involved, and that came from wanting to do it. And it was something that I feel like I led myself doing. And
another thing, this has come up before. If you allow yourself to back off of school a little bit, do 4-year thing, you can fit more other stuff. And other stuff can be personal projects, like we said. Hackathons. Hackathons are good.
Yes. Jamie went to a lot of hackathons and she won a lot of them.
We went to 4 and I won 3 because I never lose. And if you do the numbers there, you'll notice that I never lose. Yeah, you were there for all of them.
I was there for all of them. We did do those.
They're a lot of fun. You get free food. They give you energy drinks. First time I've ever had Celsius. First time I ever had a Monster as well. Both of those are on the same day. Is that good for me? No. But yeah, it's a fun time. And it is difficult to get an internship. The economy's bad or something. I don't really pay attention. I'm in finance. But you can do personal projects. Hack for Impact is one of them, but you can go do your own thing. You can make up an idea. You can also go to a hackathon, and that's 24 hours, and you demo your project, and that's a thing you can put on your resume. And it's, that's efficient. That's time.
Yes.
That's time saved.
Yep.
Go hang out with your friends. Don't sleep. Make a website.
Don't sleep. Make a website.
I didn't go to the panels or anything. You should make the most of your hackathon experience.
I did go to the panels.
I didn't.
For everyone listening, Jamie and I did a lot of hackathons together. I went to all the panels.
I'm on the grind, and I never lose.
Well, cool. Thank you so much, Jamie. This was really fun. I appreciate all the advice that you've given us. Yeah, thank you all as well for listening to Boba Talk, episode 7. We're so back. And for Sunny and Lil letting me take over for our back to school season in October. Some people's semesters do start in September. So
that's true. If you're a quarter system,
you start in September.
Everything's weird. I don't understand how that works.
Well, cool. Thank you so much, Jamie. We're excited to see you also at the Wix panel.
I will be there on Thursday.
Later this week. So if you're in New York City and you attended, or because this will be coming out in the future.
I was thinking about that.
Yes, if you have attended, that was really great.
You'll see me in there.
Yes.
I'll be on stage. I don't know if there's a stage. I'll be on the panel.
Cool. Thank you so much, Jamie. And we'll talk to you all very soon.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
My name's Jamie Rollison. Follow me on LinkedIn.
Take care.